Hi all, I thought I'd just jump in again and talk about episode 5 in our brain health series, brain health and stress. Now, we all know that stress can be a good thing. When we need to run away from something or we've had a big fright, we want our bodies to kick into action and be doing the things that it needs to, increasing your heart rate, releasing that adrenaline so you can deal with a current situation. And that's fine. And hi, if you've just joined me, I want you to stick around and see what tips I've got to manage your brain health with stress. So what we're going to do is just talk about brain health and stress and look at the reasons why stress is bad for the brain and what we can do to manage it. So we know that some stress is good. What happens though when we do have stress in our lives, and it can be anything from running late to that physio appointment, to someone walking in front of you and you thinking you're going to lose your balance, or just having an argument with one of your family members. We release cortisol, one of the chemicals in our brain, and what that does is it gets everything going, it increases our heart rate, it increases our breathing rate, which is good. And then when the stressful event is over, the cortisol really helps adjust our system back to normal. It restores those energy levels that it's helped to raise. It's responsible for regulating blood sugar post a stressful event, as well as working in the amygdala, the part where we form memories. However, life nowadays can be pretty stressful, and what we tend to have is people have chronic stress, so low grade stress all the time, where we've got a constant release of cortisol in our system. And the reason that's is bad for our brain is that, well, one, if we've got lots of cortisol in our system, it's not good for regulating our sleep. We can tend to stay awake for a lot longer, which we know sleep disrupts the brain. And we talked about that in, I think, episode 3 of our brain health series, how sleep is important for the brain. What it also does is it disrupts synapse regulation, so the inability for the brain to actually grow and regulate those synapses that we need to produce function within our body. It actually can reduce the size of the brain if we're having ongoing chronic stress. And specifically, it can shrink the prefrontal cortex, which is the bit at the front of the brain, which is responsible for memory and learning. And as well as having those direct effects on the brain, it can increase your blood pressure, and we know that increased blood pressure can lead to heart disease and also stroke, so it can have a physical effect on the brain from that perspective. And it can also lead to diabetes because we're not getting that regulation of blood sugar. And we know that with diabetes, we're getting excess blood sugar and glucose within our system, which can cause more inflammation, which has an effect on the brain as well. So those are the things that stress does to actually affect the brain, and you can see why it's really important to manage our stress. So what can we actually do about it? Well, the things we can do is we can do breath work or doing deep breathing that helps down-regulate our system. So we're working more in a parasympathetic system, in our rest and digest system, rather than the fight and flight system that kicks in when we're in stressful situations. We can do things like mindfulness, and there's some great apps out there like Headspace or Insight Timer that can help. And it's really important that if you've had a traumatic event, things like concussion, or if you've got an ongoing neurological condition, that you are doing things like mindfulness, because it does reduce some of that cortisol level that can be quite prevalent, especially when you do have ongoing symptoms like dizziness, or you're concerned about your balance. You've got that low grade stress going on. So things like mindfulness can really help with that. Exercise is really important to manage stress. And the other thing, which is really good, and I love doing it, and I did this on Sunday with my family. I got outside and got into nature, and I was walking in the bush with them. It was late in the afternoon, and we'd been busy rushing around the house all day, getting things done, getting ready for the week, and we were like, let's go for a bushwalk. And it just really nature has a really calming effect on the body, and it's actually been shown that it will actually reduce stress levels and cortisol for people who spend up to 20 minutes in nature. So that's a really nice way to help manage your stress levels as well. So that's all I've got time for today, talking on brain health and stress. Next time is going to be our last episode in the brain health series, and we're going to be looking at social interaction and the health of the brain. If you've got any questions, we'd love to answer them. Pop them in the comments below, or you can either send me a private message, or if you want to ask me something via email, you can email me, Sarah@hibiscusneurorehab.co.nz. Have a great day. Bye.